Hello, guys. Welcome back to Sports Covery. I'm Rishi. I've got with me Adi today, and I think yesterday or day before yesterday or something, I was watching one of the Wisden reels, or I came across one of the articles, and that got me thinking. It was basically about the number threes, and especially in tests, and how that happens to be a dying breed. How we do not have enough test specialist number threes, and that kind of got me thinking as to like that is kind of true because we grew up, at least the two of us, and I'm sure Rahul also, like we grew up in an era seeing, the end of Rahul Dravid, this R who, according to us, the Rahul Dravids, the Ricky Pontings, who were the number three, the kings of number three. They were the torchbearers of number three. And then, even then, we had, like, for much of our teen era, we had guys like Kumar Sangakkara, we had guys like Jonathan Trott and Jacques Callis. We had enough people who were playing that spot, and as recent as Cheteshwar Pujara also. But all of a sudden, we do not have that quality players anymore. Like, I can't think of any team that has good number threes. Whether, like, we are talking about back in the day, teams could have two, three, four specialist number three batsmen. Like Sri Lanka had Mahela Jayawardene and Sangakkara at a point. India had Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman, who was also a number three, but again, nobody's taking that spot away from Rahul Dravid. Australia had Ricky Ponting, and before that, Steve Waugh. England had Jonathan Trott, before that, Michael Vaughan, before that, Alex Stewart. South Africa had Hashim Amla and Jacques Callis. So, and West Indies, of course, had the great Brian Lara playing there. So, every country, and New Zealand, of course, how could I forget Stephen Fleming and then Kane Williamson. And again, Kane Williamson, I feel, is the last true number three, test batter. So, that kind of got me thinking as to why we got here, and how is it that a place that is so coveted, like, you give that spot only to somebody who has earned that place, like somebody who has so much test experience, first class experience, who is known to be the shield of that middle order. If you lose an early wicket, he comes in and holds the shield till, like, the end of the day or going into the next day. From that spot, we have gone into, playing, quick fixes. We do not have specialist batsmen there. We're playing all rounders. We're playing part-time batsmen. We're playing lower order batsmen there. Not by we, I don't mean India in particular. I mean almost every team right now. You see, Cameron Green is doing that. Vian Mulder is doing that. So how is it that we've come to this situation? Adi, what do you think about this situation that is going on?
Bro, if you asking me the reason, I think majorly it's just T20 cricket and the new
Hmm.
generation, how they're focusing more on T20 cricket than anything else. I think it's clear just even your modern youngsters who are supposed to be the better ones, the next generation superstars like Gill, like example for India, Jaiswal, Sudarshan. You look at other countries like, let's say with England, it's right now Harry Brooks to an extent, even better, but he's not gotten a real chance. Even with Australia, like guys like Constas who came in at a point of time, they were all coveted for their explosiveness, bro. It's not like they are the classic number three batsman what we've always known for. I think if we have to sit here and talk about what a traditional number three is, I think if we both agree to it, I think we will just come down to a classic test batter who can defend the ball the entire day if it's needed. For example,
Hmm.
for him, the first main priority is to save his wicket, control the situation of the top order if they lose or collapse, and ensure, they suss out the pressure, they keep overs, they make the ballers tired, and then once the ball gets old, the ballers are balled like 10, 20, 30 overs, and they get tired, then that's when you can start picking up the loose ball and start scoring runs. I think that's what, for me at least, what a traditional number three used to do. Like your
Hmm.
Dravids, Hashim Amlas, like everyone, they didn't really care about scoring runs. Even as you said right now, Kane Williamson, another guy who to an extent just does it in our generation. And yeah, I think the biggest reason for us losing that is I think there are two aspects. One is the fact that your top order number three. batters, you look at it everywhere right now, they're just generally pushing a good T20 player into that position or a good white ball cricketer into that position. Even with India, England also did that at a point of time with Bethel. Like, to be fair, he did pretty well in the position, but you look at his credentials, he's never played number three there. He never had enough first class cricket experience there. And coming and playing a number three position, which historically has been such an important aspect of any test team, like it is a big ask. It's a big task also.
Hmm.
Even teams like South Africa, I think, me personally, playing Mulder there, it just shows that they really don't respect their position enough, in my honest opinion. And that brings to the second part for me. I think teams value number five and number six, at least number five position, four and five more, to be fair, at this point of time. I think before, you look at the previous generations, you would say number three and four were important. But coming into this style of cricket, I think the batsmen are more scared to play the new ball, so they rather play the old ball. They rather face old ball and score more runs out of the old ball, and that's what's happened. It's happened to us, to the way where like a number four, number five are more important in terms of scoring runs, whereas the number threes just a matter of go there, try to use up the ball, try to just wear and tear of the ball, just stay there, play off some overs. I think that's what's happened to the number three, because I think every team values number five position more. And I think even in the
Right.
reel it said that, and I agree to it. I think a lot of your top teams, like even South Africa and Australia, look at the World Test Championship. I think their strength came in the number four, number five. Even look at India. I think Rishabh Pant, main reason. With England, it's Harry Brooks who's the main drive force of that. Harry Brooks, James Smith in that area. You look at Australia, it's Travis Head to an extent. Now you have guys like Inglis coming, I mean Carey coming in, guys like Bo Webster coming in. I think the lower order has become more important to score runs. While I look at every nation's number three, I don't think I would sit here and say any of the number three is a traditional number three, or is even a good enough player to play number three compared to the previous generation of number threes. Like for me, I just don't see anyone there right now.
Hmm. That's true. That's true. And what you said, I feel I agree with, in the sense that teams are now prioritizing their number four, number five, number six batters a lot more, because, like you said, they are looking for the top order batsmen not to score a big bulk of runs. They just want to kill the ball, kill the shine of the new ball, and then the lower order comes and clubs them. Like we've seen Australia do that. We've seen England do that. We've seen India do that. Like they are just looking for makeshift batsmen who are looking to, like, kill the ball. That's why you could see when Manas Labuschagne, I felt, was doing a good job until recently, and then they have no problem in trying to fit in Cameron Green, who again looks very out of sorts. That's not something he is meant to do. And same with South Africa, same with yeah, Australia, because they would much rather have guys like Travis Head and Alex Carey come in and, like, try and smother the old ball. And it's kind of sad that, this, even the test format is kind of getting T25, and as a result, I feel the teams are simply not having skilled enough batters. Like there is nobody like who is technically equipped enough to come in and, like, play the right way, because number three is a position where if your technique is not right, if you don't have the patience, if you don't have the resilience, you're going to get found out. Like, and that I feel has coincided with the rise of T20 cricket, because take India for example. We have, I think, if I'm not wrong, played almost 11 or 12 batters at number three since 2020 alone. This is a position where a single batsman used to hold the spot for 5-6 years, and in the last 5 years we've had 12 different or 11 different combinations. And right now we went to a batter, like we had a 23-year-old debutant have the place who hasn't played in that position in first class cricket, and then we gave him a chance. The next match we went on to a 33-year-old player who again is not a natural number three batter, while our best possible number three batter is playing opening. So that, at least for India, shows their priority as to what, like, the what nations are, what the direction in which the nations are going. So Adi, if again, if we are, if this is the way, if number three is a dying part, do you see a way in which teams can come back? Do you see a way in which teams would go back to prioritizing number three, or do you feel, yeah, this is it? Like the openers and the one down batsmen, they are just here to kill the ball, and then the main game is going to be played by the lower order batsmen, by the middle order batsmen.
Bro, yeah, I think the concern is more about how they are looking to change the style of Test cricket. It's become more like let's attack the old ball more often than I think they're just scared to play the new ball. That's more my opinion. I feel like every batter is just a bit more scared to play the new ball, face the new ball. Even just look at the World Test Championship. In my opinion, the first day, I think both the teams were just scared to play the new ball. I think just because the ball is doing more, the ball has it is very tough to understand conditions, especially in England. No matter where we are playing, in which year we're playing, the ball obviously does more when it's new, and I think these guys are just more scared, more defensive on the new ball. I'm not saying that's bad, but I feel like that's the matter. Like I think they're happier to concentrate. Like at the end of the day, in test you have to score runs, and they're happy to concentrate and put more of the bulk in the lower order scoring runs than your no, I wouldn't say top two, but even to extend opening and number three, because I remember even when we were speaking about you, as you said, Labuschagne, the biggest critic
Mm.
for him is not about him staying there for 100 balls. I think Labuschagne can do that. He did that against India also. We were speaking about how he didn't score runs, but he did make it easier for guys like Steve Smith and Travis Head to play at the end of the day in terms of making the ball old. He just stayed for 100 balls. He scored 20, 25 odd runs, 30 odd runs, not the greatest. And he was looking very shaky, but he still ensured he stayed there. At the end of the day, that has its own value. And I think teams are not considering it more often than not. Because the biggest criticism for Labuschagne right now is the matter of fact that they're saying he eats up too much balls, he doesn't score enough runs, and that puts pressure on the lower order. But to be fair, it also makes the lower orders task easier. I mean, I agree. Like at the end of the day, you have to score runs. If you're a number three batsman, you're only going to be judged by scoring runs. Rahul Dravid, Ponting, Hashim Amla, Callis, all these guys wouldn't be the batters they were if they didn't score runs. It's not a matter of even
Mm.
Pujara scored. Even though he ate up so many balls, he did score runs. He did score a lot of runs for India, and that's just a matter of fact. Like I agree that number three have to score runs, and the biggest reason Labuschagne washed out was because he was struggling to score consistent enough runs. But on the other side, you look at the way he batted, it did also frustrate the bowlers when you had Labuschagne batting because he could stay
Yeah.
there. Even the latter stage of Pujara, it was not a successful time for him in the end before he got dropped. But his job was very clear where he would come to defend, and the bowler psychologically would be like, okay, this guy is going to defend. I have to put an extra 100%, 110% to get this guy out, because just putting 100% against him, he'll just defend the entire day. I do believe in sports psychological factors matter. Like if a bowler is bowling to Pujara, he is going to know that, "Oh, I have to put extra effort in today." Compared to like right now in India, if whatever happens, like you had Gill before. We know he really struggled at number three position outside India. No matter what we say, Karun Nair didn't play well enough. Sai Sudarshan, I don't think he's got enough chance. We can't. It's yet to judge because he did have a good innings last yesterday. But the point is, if a bowler is looking at these players, they know that these guys are not coming in to just defend. Like I think even for South Africa in the World Test Championship final, I told you the biggest change, the game changer was Cameron Green playing number three, because they lost one wicket in the over and they literally lost the next wicket in the same over, both the
Yeah.
times. And that was because the bowlers were confident enough that okay, we're going into this. Cameron Green's never played number three. I'll just ensure I ball in the right line and length. He will get out no matter what. And it happened twice in the same game. So it shows that,
Yes.
I think
And
in
he
test
got out the exact same way as well. Sorry to interrupt, Adi.
exactly he got out the same way. And I think in the same position, if it was Labuschagne, I would have backed him to stay for at least 50 balls. Even if he didn't score a run, he would have just stayed for 50, 60 balls. Like even if he didn't
Mm.
score enough runs, he would have stayed for 60 balls, which would have frustrated the bowlers. And you don't know how it would have affected the lower order. Steve Smith coming in, it would have elongated them to come in to the game.
Yeah.
Steve Smith facing the ball. 60 balls later, head facing the ball, 150 balls later, it matters a lot. And I think teams are actually forgetting this because when you
Yeah,
look at it, the reason I feel like India did lose, not thoroughly, but they did lose a lost test is because, guys, Karuna just couldn't sustain that number three position well enough. Even in the England series, I think India lost because they didn't have a consistent number three to sustain the pressure enough. And that's the game changer, bro. Like, I agree the number five position, number five, to be fair, they give you runs for sure. But the problem is when, say, number five gets out, you can collapse way quicker because you only have six, seven, eight, and then you have your ballers coming in. Like six, seven, and then your ballers coming in, which you literally can go in a jiffy. That's the problem
yeah,
with number five. You can score runs, but you also have the same risk of losing your, because after that, look at India for a fact. Like punt gets out, they lose a lot of wickets immediately after that. It's not like they sustain after punt gets out because we don't have that great of a lower order. And that's why I think, at least let's speak about India, like they have to invest and in not invest, to be fair, I mean it's not like football, but they have to invest the time and effort to find the right number three and to ensure that this guy's game plan is to play without pressure, play how many ever balls you want, and it's okay if you're not scoring enough runs, but ensure you just have the time on the crease because you have good quality like Gill. If he can come and play on his day, we know he can score a 200 if it comes down to it. Punt can be dangerous in certain situations. Then you fix your 6 7 and maybe you get more runs out of them. With India, I think that number three, we had a discussion 3 to 4 days ago that we really do need a proper player because without that, you're not going to get any real consistency in long term. Maybe you can win 1 2 games in a test series, test match, whatever it is, based on having a good lower order. But in reality, if you have a strong number three, you're just more stable up front. And I think, look at New Zealand, I still think their batting is very stable because they have Kane Williamson. They know he's a pillar for them. They know that they can bat on him whenever it matters. Their top order is so solid that the lower order has less pressure to score runs. I think that's the best way to go forward. If you just looked at the second test of India, when Gill and Gill scored runs, KL scored runs, Jaiswal scored runs. The lower order didn't have the pressure to score runs. I think that is because the top four, top five did their job well. I think teams should just go back to having a traditional number three who plays better cricket, who stays on the pitch for a longer time because I just think it helps the lower order better.
mm, yep, yep, yep. That's true, and it is on India to try and okay, we can say to try and find a number three, but it's not as easy as it sounds because when you are putting out this whole T20, the glamour of T20 cricket, every single batter or every single kid, youngster, upcoming player would want to go that way. Nobody wants to sit and play first class games. And back in the day, they would get a government job and get very minimum, like not minimum, but like basic wages, playing first class cricket, earning their way into the first team. Like you're seeing a lot of cricketers make their way into the first team just by the quick IPL route. So how the what is the incentive in these guys playing like toughing it out in the first class cricket, like, which to be fair, the other countries are still doing it. Australia, to a large extent, are rewarding their first class cricketers. England are also rewarding their first class cricketers. So I feel in that, like, this is one avenue where India can very much lose out on. Like, as much as it's profiting our cricket board and T20 cricket is taking over the world, I feel this is going to be a heavy downside, and it's not going to take long before we start losing test batsmen as a whole, like not just number three. Like now it's number three, and then what's going to be, like, what's going to be next, what's going to happen to the number four? Because bro, it's not even a hypothesis at this point. Like, the numbers speak for themselves. Like, I was seeing these graphics where, on average, the international, like on average, a global number three batter was averaging 43 in the 2000s, which dipped to 39.8 in the 2010s, which has gone down to 35.18. So from the 2000s, it's almost a 20% dip into the 2020s. Like that is very scary. And that the difference is, as you go down the order, that goes into single digit numbers. Like straight up, it goes to single digit numbers. So you can clearly see that there is a significant dip in the number. And yeah, the very fact that we are struggling to name a single specialist batter in today's game right now in test speaks volumes. So, Adif, again, tomorrow, assume you're the BCCI chief. You look at this problem. It's a glaring problem. It's not, again, like I said, it's not something that has a fix ready. Assume you're the head. You have all the freedom in the world to pretty much go and do something about it. Of course, we'll have to reinvent the sport, or reinvent test cricket, or reinvest in test cricket altogether. But if you were the head, what would you do to solve this issue?
Bro, I think first, even before it's a BCCI thing, just look at today's India test team, bro. I think
Hmm.
it's not even the batsmen, let's be honest. Even the bowlers get rewarded based on their IPL performances and credentials. Just last year, because of an IPL, he had a decent IPL campaign, and guys like Harshitana got in the test team. Over guys like Mukesh Kumar, even Akashdeep to an extent, who had played a lot of first class cricket. And just come down to the batsmen. You had guys like Sai Sudarshan. To be fair, even though he had a great IPL season, he's just come in through his IPL credentials more than his first class cricket credentials. Even Gill to an extent, he got in because of the hype, the whatever it was. Jaiswal also, like, he had a great IPL campaign. He came to the test team. I'm not going to blame the players because it's not the players' fault. If the coaching staff, the management are going to make it a thing where you perform in the IPL, we get you into the test team. Because how can I fault the players when the coaching staffs are the one who's saying, I'm going to reward you in the test team if you have a great IPL campaign. I'm going to give you an IP test debut if you have a great IPL campaign. And that's what's happened. Because you look at guys like Jaiswal, Sai Sudarshan, guys like Ashdeep Singh also to an extent, even though he's come to the white ball avenue than playing good in the first class cricket and coming in. To be fair, like even Bumrah at the beginning, he had great performance for Mumbai Indians, and then he came in. Even Siraj, he had great performances for RCB, and that's when he came into the test team. I'm not going to sit and say it's the wrong decision, but I'm going to try and say that if you're going to reward these players only through the IPL, every cricketer that comes now will be like, I'd rather put my eggs in IPL, perform well in IPL, and then see what I can do in test, rather than work my craft in test, learn the game in and out, and then play well in Ranji Trophy, in your county cricket, etc., and then put my name on the map by playing test cricket. It's not there right now. We've had very few people like that. Right now, if you take in Abhimanyu Ishwaran, he's done that. He's only concentrated on Ranji Trophy. He's played 100 plus Ranji Trophy games. He's not yet to play an IPL game. I don't think he even plays IPL game. He's put his all efforts into Test cricket, saying, I want to play Test cricket for India. And at the end of the day, he didn't get the chance. He hasn't gotten the chance yet. And I don't know if he'll ever get the chance because of the fact that he never played IPL or performed well in IPL. Even go back a few years ago, guys like Hanuma Vihari, he was a great player to an extent of what he used to do for India, but he did get dropped, etc. Because there were players who played better in IPL and played better there, and the team just pivoted. The management, coaching staff, even let's say selection committee, I think that's the main priority. I mean, main culprit here. They pivoted from Ranji Trophy performances towards IPL performances, and they started taking players from there. Then where are the players going to sit and be like, okay, I'm so motivated to play well in the IPL, I mean, Ranji Trophy this year. I'm going to prove myself in the Ranji Trophy this year, and then let's score a lot of runs in the Ranji Trophy, and then let's get in the test team. It is a matter of fact. It's simple. If I'm today a cricketer, let's score good runs in IPL. Let's get wickets in IPL. Let's put that pressure on getting in the test team. And then after that, I'll see how I can adapt to the test team. Because playing T20 is a total different ballgame than playing IPL. Like, it's not at all the same. I would blame the coaching staff for not putting more priority on Ranji Trophy and giving them credit and rewarding them with starts. I still think today Abhiman. I'm not going to sit here and say outright that Abhimanyu Ishwaran is the best number three for India to play or the best batsman for India to play. But I think he deserves a chance for him in the current state of play of how India doesn't have a proper number three, proper number six also to an extent, if you want to say. So I think he deserves a chance to play, but he's not gotten a chance. But I saw I think it's just recently I saw some stat where I think 11 players have gotten debuts since Abhimanyu Ishwaran was called up to the Indian squad. I think that was like 1.5 years ago. Since then, guys like Dhruv Jurel, a lot of players have gotten chances to play for the Indian Test team, but he hasn't gotten a chance yet. So the upcoming youngsters, they'll look at it and say, "What's the point of playing Ranji Trophy?" And if you remember, I remember this for a fact. When Gambhir came in 1 year ago, he said clearly, the guys who play well in Ranji Trophy are the guys who will get selected for the Test team. Every player, Indian player, is going to play Ranji Trophy. When 1 year later, have you ever seen this happen properly, like consistently? I, for one, haven't seen anything of this like happen for proper. Like I haven't seen any Ranji Trophy player playing for the Indian team based on their performance in Ranji Trophy. I've not seen the Indian players also playing Ranji Trophy. Like Virat played one game, Rohit Sharma played one game, and that was it. Like that was the end of it.
The
Like
hype around that itself, like the fact that these guys were grazing Ranji Trophy itself made a big news. Almost, it's
yeah,
almost as if
bro, it is almost
like
like people remember Ranji Trophy exists because these guys went to play there.
exactly
Bro,
like
so yeah, like I feel like, bro, who's gonna give the credit of Ranji Trophy players when India coaching staff only doesn't give credit to Ranji Trophy players? Like,
mm,
why will I sit here and say, okay, I'll play grind out Test cricket today and ensure I score runs? Like, bro, players will just be there. Okay, I'll go play IPL well. I'll try to play ODI cricket well, and then they'll put me in the Test squad. That's it.
mm. Yep, that's true. And yeah, I completely agree with you in the sense that if somebody who has put their whole life and worked hard all his life to be in the position that he is as a domestic premier frontline batter, and the only reason he is being denied the chance is because somebody from, or like multiple people from the more glamorous format is coming in and taking there's like his spot, like then where is the reward, like why are people going to be like interested in doing it the right way if all you have to do is hit in the first 4 overs of a T20 game, just come in and bash a few or like nick a few balls and that's it, you're getting a test call up, then surely people are like the ones who are going to be easily influenced are just going to try and take the shortcut. So I completely agree with you. It's only fair that the ones who are doing it the right way, and it's not even about merit, or it's not even about, okay, the ones who are doing it the right way should get the chance. He hasn't even received a spot to prove his chance, and like Abhimanyu Shurna has done everything possible, right? Like what by now, if this were like in the early 2000s or like the 2000s or the early 2010s, he would have gotten his chance by now. That's the sad reality that we are heading into. And yeah, that's it from us. Let us know what you guys feel about the number three position. If you guys feel that this is just a phase and once the quality, like eventually it's a cycle that quality is going to come back, do let us know. If you feel like there is a bit of substance to it, if you feel that it is a dying breed, also do let us know what can be done to make the situation better. So yeah, we'll catch you guys soon, and do let us know how it goes. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Adi. Thanks for joining.